everyone likes movies. If you don't, something's wrong with you. Anyways, movies have such a huge impact on today's society. You know, movies have that fantasy about them that you could just wish happened to you, you know. For girls, when they watch something like The Notebook, they want the special guy to just come by and sweep them off their feet. But for guys, you want to be that superhero secret agent like Jason Bourne that could just beat down 20 people without breaking a sweat. But we all know most movies are fake. Most movies just, they bring you in from the fantasy and take you out of the reality. But movies are so successful at doing that, but there was a time when movies weren't as good at doing that. So I'm going to talk to you about three things: the start of film, the technological advances of film, and the impact film has on society today. My first point, which is the start of film. Film was not made by one person. A lot of inventors came up with film. A famous inventor that came up with film was Thomas Edison. He created the phonograph successfully in 1877. And here's a picture of it. It recorded and produced sound. And when he invented that, another inventor named Edward Muybridge came out with the Zoopraxiscope. And the Zoopraxiscope projected images from two rotating glass discs. Now, Thomas Edison didn't, Edward Muybridge, when he invented that, wanted to combine his invention with Thomas Edison's. But Thomas Edison didn't want to do that. So he came out with the kinetoscope, which was, it was the same thing as the Zoopraxiscope, but it did over a light source. So it was a little bit better. So he copyrighted it. Other inventors that were credited for coming up with film was Hannibal, Goodwin, and George Eastman, and they created the film strip. The film strip is what records the film, and pictures were shot into the film strip in sequences. Well, those inventors were the base start of film, which brings me to my second point: the technological advances of film. When film first started out, there was no recorded sound. Movies didn't have people talking. They had people acting it out and people like lip talking, but you didn't hear what they were saying. It was like, they were like mimes. So it made everything really boring, and they would have like random music playing in the background that just really wouldn't go with the movie. So they came out with synchronized sound, which the first film with sync sound was Walt Disney's animated Steamboat Willie with Mickey Mouse, way back in the 1920s, which is Mickey Mouse driving a steamboat on the river. So years later, VHS came out. VHS tapes came out, and VHS tapes were a hit. When in an article that P.H. Lewis wrote called "Business Technology Advances in Film," he said the American public appetite for feature films is growing rapidly because of the phenomenal popularity of video cassettes. Now, everybody loved VHS tapes. Now we got DVDs, and we don't even think nothing of VHS tapes. So, when you have DVDs and movies are more accessible to people, everybody will like movies more. Which brings me to my third point: the influence film has on society today. For some people, movies are their occupation, whether it's making or acting the film. Movie theaters have become a social event. You know, we're always talking about what's coming next into theaters, and the previews and the awesome trailers that they have to offer. Movies have such an impact on people. So I've given you my 3 points on film: the start of film, technological advances of film, and influence film has in society today. So the next time you watch a movie, imagine it with just subtitles and random music playing in the background, like people had to watch it back in the 1920s. It won't be enjoyable to watch, but the bright side is movies have come a long way and will only keep getting better.